Welcome to another The Builder's Extra, where we extract things from past podcast episodes and we expound on them a little bit. Is expound a word? I think it is. So we expand on them a bit. And so this one actually, well, sometimes it might be like the one we just had. Maybe I'll go back into history. But in this one, we're going to actually take something from the one that just published this week with Matt Campbell. During that episode, I actually, something he said really hit me. He said something to the effect of, if you're going to start a blog, that he would suggest focusing on posting 100 blog posts. And he kind of gave some advice as well as to how many words per blog post and how you figure that out and stuff. But the thing that really stuck out to me was the 100. And the reason that is because I've used that in the past, not for blogging, but when I was doing pay-per-click advertising. And I had a system called Campaign Blasts. It was a Campaign Blast method. It was a methodology around launching PPC campaigns to promote affiliate programs. And kind of recap the whole thing there is we had actually a membership, a pretty decent sized membership, hundreds of members. And I was the author of Campaign Blast. So this was something I back-ended. They could join my membership in the forum. And we would, one of the things I constructed out of that was I created what's called a blast challenge, because I really wanted to engage my community and give them a framework to do something, to take action. And in the blast challenges, the goal was to do 100 campaigns. Now, these aren't big campaigns. The whole idea with campaign blasting was these were very focused, tight, cheap tries, you might say, to test a market. Test a market, merchant, product, keyword combination, right? And the idea is to launch 100 of these. We would give, I think we do these in like 4 to 5 weeks, something like that. So it wasn't like in 1 week or something. It was actually kind of a longer time frame to launch 100 campaigns and do all that research and stuff. And the thing that, and that's why it was kind of meaningful to me. Like, I'm like, yeah, 100 is a great number because it's a number that's significant, not easy to do, not easy to employ. Because it's a commitment. To launch 100 campaigns or to write those 100 articles is a commitment. But the reason why, I think part of the reason why it works is because it's not easy, right? Some of the things in life worth having or getting or to get results, you have to put in massive action. And it's that way with any business too, marketing efforts and stuff. But I knew that if they would launch 100 campaigns, that they would get results. Out of all those campaigns, they would have a lot of failures, and we just cut those. You cut the failures, you lose them, you drop them, but you focus in on the winners. And then you try to scale those up, right? That was the kind of the other part of this formula was you find the winners and then you see if it's a fluke or if you try to expand that campaign, maybe build out other ways to drive traffic to that. So that was really what that was all about. Now, one of the reasons people would fail, and this would be the same way with blogging, the reason people would fail is because they would fail to execute on those 100. In general, blasting really required you to put in time. Because you had to learn. It took weeks for you just to learn the methodology, right? I mean, I had a guide that was like 200 pages long that went over every detail of this and laid out the framework. But the people that would fail, I would get people that would. I didn't get that many refunds. It was a really good method. Obviously, because it's a good sign that you don't get a lot of refunds. So people are getting value from it. But the people that did would be like, oh, I launched 2 campaigns, or I gave this 2 weeks and and I didn't get any sales, blah, blah, blah. And really, there's so much, the reason you do 100 is because it's easy to fail on small samples like that, because it's a numbers game. So when you have a numbers game, the more numbers, So those are the people that failed, though. They weren't committed to the methodology. They weren't committed to the system. So it really boils down to a framework where you take action on, And the other part of that framework for me, and you could probably apply this to blogging as well, I'm trying to relate the two, or any website, is that you build a system. The reason why you want a system or a framework like that, or and deploy processes, is because you don't have to think about it. And I had built this system. I'd spent all this time testing and doing all the groundwork for my members and for the customers that bought, the blast guide and all that. So they didn't have to. I'm like, just don't think about it. Just do it. Just follow these steps. It was very detailed. Follow these steps. Launch 100 campaigns. These are the results you should expect. So it's really it's a way to not think about it too much. But a lot of people would inject their own doubts, their own experiences into it. So I was coaching. I had a coaching program too for a while, one-on-one. And I remember one person specifically that he started following the guide. He started following what I was teaching him, but then he deviated. He's like, I don't know, I'm going to do it this way, or I'm going to do it that way, or I think this and that. That's kind of, why do you have a coach, right? If you're not going to follow what I'm telling you to do, and you're going to get different results. I can't guarantee your results. Well, I'm not that I kind of guaranteed I'm going to get a refund if they didn't. If they would follow my system and they wouldn't get the results or some level of results, then I would refund them. Anyway, but that's the thing. And this is something that can be applied to so many things. That's why I actually had a guide after that. I may sell it again someday. I don't know, think about it. Called the Blast Formula, which was a spin-off of Campaign Blasts, because I took that kind of formula and that numbers game and applied it to all kinds of other things, because you can apply it to business, marketing, sales, in all kinds of arenas. If you're an agency or freelancer, which I was a freelancer and I run an agency, you could say, I'm going to do 100 proposals. I'm going to send 100, submit 100 proposals on Upwork or wherever, and after that 100 again. So, okay, let's say after that 100, you didn't get the results you wanted. You tweak it, right? You can still tweak it and do another 100, right? Take action, SEO, ask 100 blogs for a link back to your site if you want to build links, right? Social media, do 100 posts a month. 100 posts a month. Every month you tweak, you refine it, you see what works, what doesn't work. We do that. That's one of the things we do at Unified Web Design. So you measure results. So it's about setting those goals, and 100 is always a great goal. You set those goals and you go at it again. We did that with direct email. We haven't done direct email this year, but it was actually something that we were kind of relatively successful with. We just have a lot of other things going on. We decided to focus on networking and other things. But in our direct email campaigns, what we do is we do a campaign. In that case, I think our goal was 300 or 400, so a little higher goal. But within that, though, we were testing subject lines and the content, and then so with all this, it's testing. It's trying different things. So if you decide you're going to do something, you're going to go after something, and you're going to commit to achieving it, create a personal framework for that. Create some kind of system that's replicable. It's a hard word to say. Why is that replicable? You can replicate it, and do that for yourself. And and then execute on it. And then learn, iterate on it and learn and tweak until it works for you. That's how you do it. Till next time. Hope you enjoyed this content.